Hi everyone, my name is Anton Lyapunov, and today I'm going to talk about IoT in regards to the development of 5G cellular network. What you can see right now is the agenda of today's presentation. I will be talking about the companies that develop 5G. I will talk about what 5G is, the concept behind it. Then I will talk about how 5G revolution will be more like a marathon than a sprint. Then I will touch base regarding my experience with 5G in telecommunications. After agenda, let's briefly discuss why should you listen to my presentation. Not many people know about what's behind the technology using which we go on the internet, make calls, send text messages, and consume content on our favorite social media platforms. That's why I would like to take 5 minutes of your time to provide you with this knowledge. This way, you'll be able to appreciate the technology and science effort behind it even more and not fall for conspiracy theories about 5G. Moreover, there are many funny memes that hopefully already got your attention and will keep you interested until the end of presentation. As you can see from this slide, in the upper right corner, we have Federal Communications Commission of the United States, which oversees all of the companies and regulates that all work is done in according to their standards. So basically, the Federal Communications Commission is the boss of the following companies that I am going to name, or you can also see those companies on your screen. In terms of hardware, United States mostly use Qualcomm as their provider for hardware for the 5G installations. And for the network providers, we have Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, and Sprint, which recently became a part of T-Mobile. First of all, let's figure out what 5th generation mobile network is. So 5G is the next generation in over-the-air telecommunication standards. Compared to 4G, 5G boosts the data rates tremendously and significantly lowers the latency to cellular devices. The 5G benefits encompass more than just telecommunication. It's designed as a unifying network that can help realize the true potential of Internet of Things. Before we keep going with 5th generation, let's look at the timeline of generations and see what major milestones were achieved with those technologies. It's always great to have new technology in place, and we people always want to have new technology as soon as possible. However, with 5G, it's not gonna be the case, due to following reasons. The first roadblock on the way of implementing 5G network quickly is standardization. In the environment where all telecommunications companies want largest piece of the market, they want to develop and get the technology out even before the standards are in place. This behavior from telecommunications giants leads to a chaos in the market of the hardware devices, where the Qualcomm doesn't know what kind of devices to produce in order to meet standards for all of their clients. The second roadblock on the way of 5G technology is attenuation. The way the technology and physics behind that technology works is that the faster the speeds, the lower the distances, the lower the penetration ability of those bands through the buildings. So as you can see from this picture, 5G has a really large spectrum. It starts on the low band from 1 GHz and ends on the high band at frequency of 300 GHz. 5G overlaps with older generation technologies on some of the band frequencies. For example, we can see that low band and mid band frequencies apply to 5G, 3G, and 4G technologies, as well as the 5th generation technology. However, higher band waves only apply to 5G technologies. This is the reason why 5G internet speeds are way more than the previous generation technologies. However, the downside of that is the bigger the frequency, the less is the penetration and distance of the wavelengths. This slide provides us with free space propagation loss for different operating frequencies. As you can see from the picture on the right, this is the full electromagnetic spectrum, and you can see roughly where the 5G technology is located in that electromagnetic spectrum. As an example to the previous slide, we can see that our mobile AM/FM waves are located on the lower end of the radio frequency spectrum. This means that one antenna is enough to broadcast AM, FM, or even TV waves for really long distances compared to 5G technology or microwave and satellite technology. Also, we can see a linear relationship between operating frequency and signal attenuation and distances. So the higher the distance is, the bigger attenuation is on the higher frequencies. And this is what we can read from the graphs on the left. Therefore, it means that mobile operators will need to deploy hundreds of new small cells to ensure 100% network coverage for the same area. The cells should be roughly 100 meters per cell in radius. It will be a big challenge for mobile providers to accurately plan and acquire these massive numbers of new cell site locations to provide uniform 5G coverage. The third and the last roadblock for the 5G technology is pricing and availability. As you probably know, in order to be able to receive the 5G signal on your mobile phone, you have to have a special mobile phone. Most likely it has to be a new mobile phone which has a 5G receiver or 5G antenna installed inside of it. This means that consumers will need to buy a new phone engineered with multiple internal antennas to take advantage of the improved wireless network. So depending on how fast consumers are being able to buy the new phones would be the pace of how fast companies will be able to spend money on installing those cell towers. As we all know, supply meets demand. On the other hand, the distribution of cell towers favors large urban areas over suburban and rural regions. So business professionals in downtown Toronto are the first group to benefit from the network. As you can see from this slide, this topic is in my area of interest. I used to work in telecommunications company, and at some point I was offered to assemble those new 5G antennas. And basically on the pictures you can see how those antennas look like. It's gonna be small white boxes that are gonna be located on poles across the city. And yes, if someone's interested, we had to keep that information in secret, and whoever approached us during installations, we were forbidden to let them know that it was a 5G antenna, and we had to hide that information from people because otherwise there were incidents of people trying to mess with equipment. There were stories of people trying to take it down by themselves due to conspiracy theories that were mentioned before. Thank you for your attention, and hopefully you enjoyed this presentation.